Hi, welcome to my talk using objects to tell stories of people and place. I'd like to say thank you to Society of Genealogists, All About That Place, and their sponsors for this opportunity. Also, thank you to Lisa, Marie, and Jodie, my incredible Australian research assistants. Australian Convict Research London and King River Press respectfully acknowledge the traditional owners of the land we call Australia, their suffering and losses due to colonisation, recognising that sovereignty was never ceded. The topics of this talk are documents, objects and storing memories, Australian Convict Research London's Transported Female Convicts of Westminster project, and objects we have chosen to tell their stories. I will also make a short mention of Folk Who Journal, a place to share short verses of people, place and special objects. There is a fair amount packed into the slides, and I have used ample text to make the content more accessible. If you like, pause the slides, take a read, ponder the content, and think over the questions I have added. Given our project's focus on Australian convict transportation, the content will be based on that era but can be applied to any other culture or time in history. There is a saying across many areas of study and work, including genealogy, the arts and sciences, if there's no evidence, then where's the proof? We know the importance of using primary, secondary and further evidence to back up our research. This could be evidence of a place, event, building, people, documents, etc. In family and public history, alongside these, we can also use objects to tell stories and wider histories of people and place. Special documents and objects can be kept in albums, frames, books and folders, and anything from a large chest or travel case to a jewellery or small amulet box. Across cultures, memory, trinket and keepsake boxes are often used to store valuable items. In the Victorian era, Queen Victoria made the memory box a popular item, encouraging this sentimentality in the wider populace. After the death of her husband, Prince Albert, she always wore black and kept his things in place in his room, creating a permanent museum of his life. The Victorians made famous keeping a lock of hair of a loved one and storing it. For the more wealthy, that could have been in a locket with a photo. Some of the things one might keep in a memory box are cards, photos, natural objects, jewellery and trinkets. Object biographies have been around since pre-literacy. In earlier times, they would have been passed down through oral stories and performance. Object biographies are multidisciplinary and used widely across the arts and sciences. For family or public historians, we can use word of mouth, tags, notes, short or long biographies to tell the story of an object. Objects can also be political due to disputed ownership. This can be through colonisation or even family disputes. Objects have their own production histories, but also histories injected by the first owner and subsequent owners or keepers of objects. Their stories can therefore change over time. Objects connect people to place and place to people. They are often passed down through families. Though we often see items displayed with biographies in the museum space, there is no reason we cannot label our special items to keep or display at home to ensure their stories are not lost over time. Now to our project. The idea for the Transported Female Convicts of Westminster Research Project began in April 2023. One of my direct ancestors was a female convict from Westminster, and this got me interested in the wider story and a feeling that it should be told. There is very little evidence or talk of convict history in London, England, or the UK, so our research group and the project aim to fill some of the gap. Our group is not for profit and we currently are self-funded. Through various databases, we have identified more than 80 female convicts who are documented as being from the old Westminster area. We are making bio profiles for each of the women and using objects to tell their stories and wider histories of people and place. Our first mini display will be at the Family History Show London on October the 5th. It will feature Christina Henry's Roses from the Heart convict memorial bonnets, the convict women's bio profiles, and a range of objects. We are looking for places around London to host mini displays. If you are interested, please download the press release expression of interest from our website and get in touch. Since 2007, Tasmanian concept artist Dr. Christina Henry has been working with volunteers to make her Roses from the Heart bonnets for the 25,000 plus female convicts who were transported from Britain and Ireland over the span of almost 8 decades, from 1787 to 1868. They are made by volunteers and have been displayed around Australia, the UK, Ireland, New Zealand and America. This will be the first time in London. Christina has just sent us some lovingly made bonnets from Tasmania, some of which you can see here, made by Lindy, Jude S., Jane and Yvonne. Marie and Jude H., our research assistants, made 2 of these bonnets and Lisa and I did these particular bio profiles. This is an example of what our displays will look like. Some other objects we have collected are banknotes and coins. Here you can see Quaker prison reformer Elizabeth Fry on the £5 note. Ms. Fry was tirelessly active during the transportation era and visited prisons and convict ships. She led education programs and provided some women on ships with sewing supplies. On a number of female convict ships headed for Australia, women made quilts. Only one of these survives today. It was made on the ship Raja that transported 180 female convicts from London to Van Diemen's Land, Tasmania in 1841. 3 women of Westminster were on that ship and one of them, Jane Cale, is thought to have helped in stitching the quilt. Campbelltown, Tasmania is home to the oldest surviving brick arch bridge in Australia. It is said to be designed and was certainly made by convicts in 1838. Beginning in 2023, convict descendants got together and made bricks to commemorate their ancestors and their survival stories. These are set into the pavement along the main street of Campbelltown and are a popular attraction to this day. As seen, the bricks show the name, age, ship and year, crime and sentence of each convict. These 2 are my direct ancestors, First Fleeters Nathaniel Lucas and Olivia Gascoigne. Nathaniel's crime was actually committed at the Red Lion Inn in Holborn, London. After arriving in Port Jackson, the couple was sent with a small selection of other convicts to settle Norfolk Island and later lived in New South Wales and Tasmania. They had large families and many descendants remember and honour them to this day. The National Museum of Australia is home to the largest collection of convict tokens, a total of 315. They range from 1762 to 1856. Some of the ones dated prior to the 1780s, when transportation to Australia began, were made by convicts sent to other British colonies. Most were acquired in 2008 from British collector Tim Millett, who was fascinated by the tokens and their stories. He has connected many of them to real people, some of their descendants and place. The tokens were made from various coins, a popular one being the large copper King George III Britannia, also known as a cartwheel penny, in circulation from 1797. It was heavy and made from a soft metal that was easy to rub back and etch into, perfect for making tokens and other items. It is possible that some convicts made these for others in prisons on hulks or on board convict ships. Pictured is one I bought from Coincraft in London. It has been rubbed back and a thread made around the rim, possibly destined for a snuff box lid. One of these coins was featured on Who Do You Think You Are on location at Port Arthur Convict Site with Professor Hamish Maxwell Stewart. An exhibition of convict tokens is currently touring Australia. They will be travelling to Redcliffe Museum, Queensland in October and Eumundi Museum, New South Wales from October till early January next year. You can also make something similar using clay or even metal by pressing stamps, objects or tools onto the surface. Here I have some samples of clay memorial tokens I made for 2 Westminster female convicts who were on board the Raja. One of my favourite collections of things is from Cries of London, depicting street hawkers of the day. There have been earlier and later street cries artists, but a notable one was Francis Wheatley, a painter born in Covent Garden in 1747. Although having his paintings displayed at the Royal Academy during his lifetime, Francis wasn't very successful and died bankrupt. His 14 paintings were never forgotten though, and appear on many items still in circulation today. In this picture you can see an old biscuit tin, a ceramic pot holder, players' cigarette cards and a small booklet. Female hawkers can be seen selling fruit, vegetables and flowers, milk and love song sheets. We also have a growing collection of convict-era stamps, which are perfect for telling the colonisation and convict story. This collection, titled The Decision to Settle, shows 4 men who spearheaded the colonisation of Australia following the exploration by Captain James Cook and botanist Joseph Banks. They are King George III, the last King of America and first King of Australia, Thomas Townshend, also known as Lord Sydney, Captain Arthur Phillip and John Hunter. I have included a short biography of each man describing their roles. The final object I would like to show is King River Press's journal Folk Coup, which means Verses of the People, written from real-life experiences, which I founded in 2023. It's available as a free downloadable PDF or a traditional East Asian hand-bound book that comes with keepsake cards of contributors' verses that can be passed along to family. To date, we have published hundreds of verses from folk cooers the world over. The aim of Folk Coup Journal is to honour the memory of Japan's Meiji-era writer Master Masaoka Shiki, the founder of modern haiku, share his history and verses, and provide an opportunity for poets to submit special moments from their family folk histories. Folk Coup is unique in that it allows the poet to include a special line under the poem. Many of these are dedicated to special objects, places, and loved ones. If you would like to submit some haiku or tanka, please see our website. Submissions for issue 4 are open from the 15th of September to 15th of October. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed my presentation.